Miss Fenty, come, please. We need to have a conversation. Okay? Why am I talking like she's gonna actually watch this video? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as always, before we start this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. I'm going to be reviewing Fenty Beauty's Sun Stalk'R Face and Eye Highlighter and Bronzer Palette. I'm also going to be doing a quick review of Patrick Ta's blush, the Major Beauty Headlines Double Take. Okay, the name is so long, it's a mouthful. You know what? The Major Beauty Headlines Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. I'm so sorry you guys, like that's too many words to remember. I also got it in the shade She's Blushing. So I just want to give you guys a quick outline of how this video is gonna go. I'm going to do a quick demo of both products for you guys, and then I'm just going to be doing like, you know, my standard review, what I think about the product, the packaging, how it performed, blah blah blah, all of that. Hi everyone. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna apologize for how ashy I look. I'm using a makeup primer slash sunscreen duo that's kind of making my skin look super ashy. So I'm gonna take a small eyeshadow brush, and then I'm gonna take the shade Cocoa Naughty and then apply that to my crease. You guys, I was actually super nervous because just applying it at first, I was concerned that it wouldn't show up on my skin. But I was like, let me not freak out. Let me just calm down and apply a little bit more and see what happens. So I kind of extended that to just bring it out a little bit to form a little bit of a wing. So then I'm going to take another small eyeshadow brush, and then I'm going to apply the shade Private Island all over my eyelids. I'm just using this to create a good base for my highlighting that I'm going to do a little bit later on. For a little bit more dimension, I'm going to take the shade Thick Mint and apply that to the outer corners of my eyes. This palette is not as pigmented as I was hoping that it would be, so I'm not too sure how this would apply on skin tones that are much darker than mine. So I'm just going to use a larger, more fluffier eyeshadow brush to just blend that in. So I'm going to take the same brush that I used to apply Caramel Cutie. So I like to wet my eyeshadow brushes when I'm about to apply shimmer. You could use water, but I like to use setting spray. I'm just going to apply the shade Gold Card again all over my lids. And then you just want to dab this in as well. Next up, I'm going to take a small eyeliner brush just to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. I'm going to be using Fat Glass for this. Today guys, I just went on to put on some eyelashes and put on my foundation. I'm just going to go in again and apply Thick Mint. I'm going to be using that as my bronzer. I'm just so used to making faces when I do makeup at this point, but it's funny seeing it on camera. You just want to swipe that across your cheekbones, just to give your face a little bit more of a shape and definition. And then I'm just going to apply some under my chin just to minimize that double chin. Next up, I'm going to take my highlighter brush. I ended up using both Fat Glass and Gold Card because my brush was too big and it was catching both shades anyway, so I decided to use both. And I think it turned out okay. To apply the blush. So I'm going to use my Sephora blush brush. I'm going to be using the powder first. I really fell in love with this blush the second I applied it on. It just goes on really nice. And then I'm going to apply the cream just on top of the powder just to give it more of a nice dewy glow. And then to finish off the look, I'm just going to be applying my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Creme. I believe I'm using the shade Honey Waffles. It's kind of like a honey butter brown, just to finish off the look. And there you have it, you guys. I hope you like this. I don't think it's too bad. I quite like how it came out. Okay, back to the reveal. So let's talk packaging first. I'm going to start with Patrick Ta's blush. I love, love, love the packaging, you guys. I'm sorry if it's like reflecting, but it is so lush. This is my first time ever using anything from Patrick Ta, and I'm really, really impressed actually. So this blush has a cream and powder formula. I love how there's like a plastic cap cover or a lid covering the cream portion of the blush. I guess maybe that's just to protect it or just to make sure like the powder doesn't go into the cream, I guess, in case you wanted to like use it separately. I'm really, really impressed with this. I think it's a good size. I just love the way it looks. Yeah, so packaging, this gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay, so let's talk about the packaging for the Stalk'R Face and Eye palette. Okay. I feel a mini rant coming, so you guys just be patient with me. As far as the packaging goes, I am really kind of disappointed. I think I'm more disappointed than I should be. Whenever I buy a new Fenty product, I always look forward to like just seeing it, just looking at it basically. And with this one, I'm just not feeling it. The top part of this palette is fine. I like the way it looks. But then the bottom where the actual like shades and the palette is, it's like made of plastic. I don't know what kind of plastic this is, but it's kind of, I hate it. I'm sorry, I just have to be honest. It's a little flimsy. It's very lightweight. There's no sturdiness, I think, to this palette. And I don't like that. It's really plasticky, and this palette costs, I'm sorry if I get this wrong, but it's between $60 to $70 Canadian, and I just expected more from this. Maybe I'm being too harsh, I don't know, but maybe my standards for Fenty Beauty are just like at this point are so high, so I think maybe that's part of it. I just am not impressed with just how plastic this is. Another thing I actually don't like about the packaging, and it's actually a functional type of issue for me, the actual pans themselves, it's very narrow. That's fine if you're only going to use this as like an eyeshadow palette. But if you're using this for the face as well, which is what it's supposed to be used for as well, you're going to be dipping into this with your bronzer brush, your blush brush, your highlighter brush. Depending on how big your brushes are, you might actually end up dipping it into two shades and mixing them up rather than the one specific shade that you like to use. You could just end up like squishing your brush and making it just fit right into the shade that you want, especially when it comes to highlighting, because it's just the two shades in the corner. I actually ended up using both highlighter shades. I didn't plan on doing that, but it was a happy accident because it worked fine and it came out fine. But yeah, just that's something that's worth keeping in mind. As far as this performance, starting with the blush, I really love this blush, you guys. Like, I mean, I just love the way that it applies. So you guys, I started off with the powder first just to see the type of payoff that it will get if it was going to be pigmented enough. I honestly would love this blush even with the powder alone because I love how pigmented it is going on. So I wanted more of a subtle look, so I didn't go too far with it when I was applying. The powder is weightless, it goes on really smooth, and then when you combine it with the cream, it just adds like a hydrating, glowy, but not too glowy finish. It just adds this dewiness and freshness and, you know, just highlightedness, you know, to the powder. I'm typically not a huge fan of cream blushes, mainly because I have like textured oily skin, so I find that sometimes they just stick to like the texture in my skin and just like make my pores more pronounced than I want them to be. But I just love that dewy but not like super oily and shiny and just distracting type look. If you're looking for a blush that will give you a subtle glow, but obviously something that you can build up as well to give you that just oomph and that vibrant look, I honestly would recommend this. I think it looks really good on my skin tone. I was so worried about that, but yeah, I am really impressed with this. So moving on to the Stalk'R Face and Eye Palette. What do I think of this palette? I'll start with the good things. I think this palette is great for someone who, let's say you're like, you know, going away for the weekend or something, or you're traveling. I think this palette is great if you don't want to, like, when you're packing up your makeup, you don't want to like pack up your entire like makeup bag. You just want a few things, because this can do 3 things. It can highlight, it can bronze, and it is also an eyeshadow palette as well. I really like that idea. This palette was designed to add like definition and dimension to your makeup. I'm not too sure how super dark skin tones are going to use and appreciate this palette. It's perfectly possible, but I'm just assuming. I'm probably not coming off as excited as I typically am for like new products and makeup and stuff, but there's something about this palette. I don't hate this palette. Let me say that. I'm not underwhelmed, I'm not overwhelmed, I'm pretty much just whelmed. The reason I actually got this palette was because I'm a huge fan of the Stalk'R, the actual bronzer. I have the actual bronzer. I have it in Mocha Mami. I believe that's the darkest shade that they have. As far as the pigment, how pigmented this is, it's not the most pigmented eyeshadow palette, face palette that I've ever used in my entire life, but honestly it's not bad either. For me, this palette isn't something that I would use when I want like a punch, like a serious vampy, you know, type of dramatic look. I wouldn't rush to this palette, but if it's just like an everyday, you know, kind of like a soft glam that you want to go for, I think this would be a good palette for that. There's minimal fallout, which is good. I really do like that. Anyway, you guys, that's it. I hope you found this video kinda helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!